Christian D'Andrea with USA Today Sports here with potential top 10 draft pick and do it all defensive back, Caleb Downs. Caleb, first and foremost, how you doing? How you feeling with the draft just about a week away?
Yeah, I'm feeling excited, a little bit anxious, but I feel like that's how you're supposed to feel about it. Um, yeah, just looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes next Thursday.
So how busy have you been? I mean, the pre-draft process is pretty wild. Have they been making you go through all these interviews? You've been meeting with a lot of teams.
Yeah, just meet with a bunch of people, meet with a lot of teams. Just trying to show who I am and any way I can help myself, I guess.
All right. So it seems like you maybe have like a little bit of a leg up, right? Your brother's an NFL player, your dad's former NFL player who's now in sports management. You're one of the first kind of groups of guys who are going through the full draft process, having had agents throughout your college career. Has that really helped you prepare for meetings with teams for going through all this?
Yeah, I feel like I have a great support system behind me. With my parents, with my brother, my aunts and uncles, even my coaches like Coach Patricia, Coach Walton, Coach Guerreri, just giving me insight and everything like that. Even Coach Saban and everybody that has helped me throughout my past.
So you and Coach Saban still keep in touch? Y'all are still close?
Yeah, we still talk.
Oh, excellent. That's very cool. So you're kind of a jack of all trades. You can play up near the line of scrimmage. You can play back at safety. What position would you say that you play or would play in the NFL?
Wherever the ball is going to be at, put
Okay.
me running the ball.
Oh, would you rather be filling lanes, getting down, run downhill, and blasting running backs, or do you feel like you're better suited in coverage?
I feel like as a defender, if you cannot do both, that's not a positive. So, um, wherever you feel like the ball is going to be at and whatever system you're in, I feel like that's where you want me to be. I feel like my game is very well rounded enough to be able to do both at a high level. So, um, yeah, wherever the team needs me to play at.
Okay. So we've seen kind of that hybrid safety role, slot defender, really kind of rise in importance in the NFL over the last decade. Is there any one player that you see out there in the NFL and you go, that's my guy, that's who I'm molding my game after. I want to be like him.
Yeah, I don't know if I would use mold game after, but there's a lot of safeties that I like to watch and everything like that. I would say Brian Branch. He's a very versatile player. Plays in the slot, also can play in the deep part of the field, and also can play in the box as well. So I feel like he can do a lot of different things.
So you came in right after Brian at Alabama, right? Was there any discussions with Coach Saban about you being that same kind of player for him while you were in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, I've had those comparisons, especially with the people at Alabama, but um, he's also from Georgia, so there was that too. But Brian's good people. He's always been good to me, and um, look forward to playing against him.
Okay. So you kind of had a lack of counting stats last season, but it's mostly because people weren't really throwing your way. When that happens, when quarterbacks kind of try to look you off and then don't go your way, do you take that as a sign of respect, or you say, no, no, I want that ball. I want to get there. I want to make more plays?
Yeah, I mean, I see myself as somebody that can make plays wherever the ball's at. So I definitely just want to be around the ball. So it's not really as fun if the ball never comes your way. So I would just say it's respect, but it's also I got to get to where the ball is at the end of the day.
So in getting to where the ball is, obviously you can line up in a bunch of different spots, right? One, how you disguise your intentions when you're in the defensive backfield and kind of mix things up and be unpredictable. And two, what are you looking for in that pre-snap that lets you know, okay, this is going to be a run. Okay, I need to be here. Okay, the ball's going here. So yeah, first one is how you disguise your intention. And the second one is what are you looking for to get to where you need to be?
Yeah, I would just say demeanor. However you presenting yourself to the quarterback, he's looking at mannerisms and intent before the play. So I would just say demeanor and how you present yourself. I would say film studies, how you feel, get a feel for run or pass, whether that's percentages, whether that's looking at a certain player. I would say that just depends on film study and everything like that. And the same thing for where the ball's going to go. Whether you're looking at the percentages of how the coach is going to call the game, where he's going to put the ball, and whose hands is it going to be in. Also, is it just having a feel for the game?
So was there any one game in, let's say, 2025 where you broke down the film and you were like, I know these tendencies, I know exactly where the ball is going, this is where I need to be, and that's a game that you were, really proud of because you were super prepared for?
I would say against Miami, I was around the ball a
Yeah.
lot because just had a knack for that game. I had extra time to prepare. Was ready to play that game at a high level.
Okay. Was there anything that Carson Beck was doing, maybe that tipped you off at all, or was that part of the secret sauce that you don't want to talk about?
I would just say part of their scheme.
Okay. All right. So you broke out as a true freshman. We already talked about your connection to Alabama. You put yourself pretty firmly on draft boards, but obviously couldn't declare, even though you had first round buzz 2 years ago. If you could have declared, if the NFL rule wasn't there, would you have come out in 2024?
That's a tough question. It's hard to say. Like it's hard to say now because I would have had to make that decision then. But I would have highly considered it. So we'll
Okay.
see.
So you had the extra 2 years. Do you think the NFL rule where you got to be 3 years removed from high school, do you think that's one that makes a lot of sense? Or is that one you think that maybe should be changed on a sliding scale or just abolished entirely?
Um, I mean, I'm not the commissioner or anything or the NCAA, so I don't want to take take a bunch of stock in that. But I
Okay.
would say there's certain players that necessarily they could leave after their freshman year and um, play at a high level in the NFL. So I feel like there's definitely certain players that could do that. I'm not saying that's a large percentage, and
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people need that extra development. So um, I feel like it's a good rule, and it allows people to get an education. So that's a piece out of it. There's a lot of different ways to look at it, but I mean, I feel like there's definitely some people that are ready to go.
Yeah. Talked about that football background, obviously older brother, big time slot guy in Indianapolis right now. How old were you when you finally got the better of him playing backyard football, and how did that feel?
I would say like we more so competed in training. I wouldn't say like we were just doing one on ones in the backyard.
Okay.
That wasn't necessarily how it went down. My first interaction with football was just us going head to head in Oklahoma drill in our living room. So I would say that was the first interaction I had with him. And in high school, his team beat me. So we'll have to go back around this time.
All right.
Get
So if you
it.
guys are doing Oklahoma drills in the living room, how much furniture do y'all break?
Uh, I think we moved the furniture away. It was just a bunch
Okay.
of carpet and pads hidden. So I don't think it was. I think we moved the furniture out of there for that.
Oh, smart, probably for the best. You went up against some of the best guys, including a whole bunch of draft prospects. So I figure there's probably no one better to give us a brief scouting report on a few of your Ohio State teammates. Is that okay if we talk about Carnell Tate and Max Clare and C.J. Donaldson?
Okay.
All right. So Carnell Tate, what does he do right? Why should a team make him a top 10 pick?
Very silky smooth route runner. Great hands. Understands the games. Understands concepts. I feel like he also can be your dirty work blocker if you need be. If you watch his film from Texas this year, he did a lot of that for our team, and it was a big thing. We actually came back after the game and watched it, and the whole team watched it. Everybody was like, "Okay, he really doing that." So I would just say really well-rounded player,
Yeah.
and can get open versus man, get open versus zones, and find those windows and zones. And I feel like he's a really high-level receiver.
All right. Max Clare, why should a team take a minor risk, maybe pick him up on day two?
Yeah, I wouldn't say minor risk, but I would say high level route runner,
Yep.
can be or definitely be our extra receiver, and also a really good blocker on the edge and screens, and then in the core does what he does as well. So I would say he's definitely your extra receiver and can win versus man and can also find your zones as well.
All right. Let's put it back on the ground to C.J. Donaldson. What does he do right?
Yeah, I feel like he's a do-it-all player. If
Okay.
you want a running back to go out and catch the ball at the backfield, if you want an extra H back to go block, to be your lead blocker, or just to hand the ball off to, he can do a lot of different things. And he was great for us on short yardage this year, but he also has great hands in the pass game. So whether that's protection or just slipping out the backfield, I think he does that at a high level.
Awesome, man. Really appreciate that. It's great insight. Especially the tape blocking stuff and the game example. Maybe even throw some of those clips in the video once this goes live. So really appreciate that. Some quick hit ones for you. We can get you out of here. I know your time is valuable. Uh, Hardest workout you've ever had?
Hardest workout I've ever had. It's a very, I would say, Coach Boo Mitchell.
Yeah.
Um, he works out around North Gwinnett. I would say his lifts were the hardest lifts I've ever done.
Boo Mitchell, former Vandy guy, Vandy legend, Boo Mitchell. All right. How cold is so cold you got to put on the sleeves?
That I have to put on sleeves.
Yeah.
I would say I would think about it. It depends. Like if I'm the punt returner, then
Yeah.
I can't do it either way.
Okay.
But if I'm not gonna have the ball in my hands, I'll probably think about it. 30s, 20s. It's
Okay.
cool.
All right. First thing you bought with your NIL money?
I bought a car when I got to college, so I guess a car, but I
All
still
right.
have that car. So
Worst place to play in college?
worst place to play. I feel like all the stadiums been pretty good, but I would say I would say Wisconsin's was like the least amount of people there. So
Yeah, it's been grim up here. I'm in Madison right now, and I mean they make up for it with the amount they drink at least.
yeah, and then when it gets to like the end of the third, they do their thing, but before that, nobody was there for that game.
The jump around. Yeah, yeah. So go back to that car. What's that car you still driving now?
I bought a BMW X6 when I got to college, and I still drive that.
Very cool. All right. Now you're here on behalf of PayPal. PayPal doing peer-to-peer stuff. I know when I'm doing peer-to-peer payments, it's pretty much all fantasy losses because I just get my ass beat a lot. Caleb, what's your peer-to-peer philosophy with PayPal? What are you paying for?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say paying back debts, but I would say more so like um, you go on a trip with your friends to go to a game. Somebody pays for the hotel. You got to pay
Yeah.
them back your hotel room. Um, Things like that. Just going to NFL games, and there's things that somebody has to pay for, and you may have to pay somebody back, or you have to send your PayPal link to somebody. That's a great way to use the app. You can do that, and then also if your friends want to take a trip somewhere to do a game together in the future, you could create a PayPal pool and put your money in the pile and be able to do that. So I would just say the app is very friendly to use, and it's a great way to peer-to-peer transfer.
Awesome, man. Well, Caleb, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking with me, and good luck at the draft. Hope everything works out wonderfully for you.
No problem. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Cheers.